project done. 3, 2, 1. We are fueled by likes, comments, thumbs up, favorites, retweets, views, and clicks. We are fueled by social media. We are fueled by social media. We are fueled. 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 We are fueled by social media. It's estimated that nearly 2.7 billion people log onto social media around the globe each day, and that's up from 2.4 billion in 2017. And today, nearly 70% of all internet usage is social network usage. And those figures are expected to grow in the coming years. Because of the insane amount of usage of social networks, there has to be repercussions. And to find out what those repercussions are, let's go back in time. No, not that way. In 2005, it was estimated that nearly 10% of all Americans use social networks. Those social networks were nothing more than chat rooms. But simple chat rooms like Hi5 and Qzone captivated almost 30 million US citizens. Between 2005 and today, that number has gone up by more than 60%, with more than 240 million social media users in the US. Of that 60%, teenagers and young adults from ages 18 to 26 made up 90% of the social media usage, creating a scenario for social media to take off at an unexpected rate. Marketing advisors saw the rapid growth and popularity of social networking and, accordingly, created advertisements to appeal to the users, the youth. And because of that, new forms of social media began to pop up all around. Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook. These are all different forms of social media, but they all do the same thing. Share information. We want, as humans, to be a part of something, to be accepted, and social media allows for this acceptance. Say a teenager posts on their Instagram page. A friend sees and likes the post. For the person who posted the photo, a chemical called dopamine is released in the brain as that person now feels happy that they are liked. Due to the release of dopamine in the brain, the teenager wants more. Soon, this will develop into addiction as people begin to crave the acceptance of others. Just like smoking cigarettes or becoming hooked on painkillers, your brain will begin to require the acceptance of others and the likes to feel good. So I asked myself, can people really be addicted to social media? According to Jacqueline Cabral, the answer is yes. She concluded after multiple experiments that yes, there is an addiction to social media, and it's a big problem. She said, technological developments directly affect those who cannot multitask or work with the demands of modern technology, resulting in symptoms of ADD or ADHD. Not only is this a problem for true human interaction, it's a problem for those who may get misdiagnosed with ADD or ADHD. The effects of the often required drugs for ADD and ADHD have a more damaging effect on the addicted social media users. People who take Adderall who have ADD or ADHD end up focusing more and, in return, become less hyper. For those who take it and truly don't have ADD or ADHD, the effects long-term can be damaging. I liked her experiment, but I wasn't just about to go 24 hours. I was going to go a whole month. Not me, I was going to get my friends to do it. So I gathered 4 of my friends and I asked them all if they'd be willing to go a month without social media. They all said,
yeah, sure.
Absolutely.
I guess.
Sure, but why?
Then, like Cabral, I had them all keep a log each week telling me how their week went without social media. How they were feeling, the hard parts, the easy parts, what they did with all their free time. And after the month was over, I sat them down for a quick recap of everything that happened. But before I put my friends up to this challenge, I wanted to see what I was getting them into. So I talked to the interim vice president of Seton Hall University, Karen Boroff, to see how social media really does impact the students there.
I have seen it, students increasingly seek counseling just by keeping track of visits to counselors, visits for help. That number has increased. I have seen research that says Facebook and excessive time online does cause people to be depressed because they see everyone having a wonderful other life, and measured by how many likes and followers they have. And if they don't have likes and followers, then they're worthless and they feel depressed. I see students with earbuds in their ears, so they don't want to listen. Their heads are down on the phone, so they're not looking up. So the ordinary ways that we rejuvenate ourselves by talking with somebody, saying, hi, how you doing? We're walking around in a bubble. People are not even talking with one another, and I don't think that absence of communication is especially healthy, because we know that when we talk and express our ideas, sometimes that venting just helps us purge ourselves a little bit and just makes us feel better.
What Dr. Boroff said about depression really intrigued me, so I looked into it. 25% of teens ages 13 to 18 have a diagnosable anxiety disorder according to the National Institute of Mental Health. And social media is to blame due to the addiction many young adults face with the platforms. With 52% of the world already connected to the internet, social media and networking will reach more and more people every day. I was really interested to see how my friends would react after their month without social media, but all I could do was wait for the first logs to come in.
So it's been about a week since I gave up social media.
1 week without social media. Things have been getting kind of whack.
Aaron, so this is the first week without social media.
Hello. It is now day 8 of no social media.
And I have to say that it's just been really different than from what I'm used to.
You know, I feel like I don't have any idea what's going on in the world anymore. I don't know what my friends are doing.
So far things have been going really well. Well, actually, that's kind of a lie.
I'm surviving. I don't know how many of us are left. At first it was a struggle. I couldn't keep my Snapchat streaks. I didn't know what was happening in the Instagram world.
I spend like probably an hour a day on different social media apps, and now that I'm just texting people a lot more.
As much as I feel like things have been going well, I've been struggling a lot. Like, I keep going to click on that spot where Instagram is, and I can't.
And it's a more direct form of contact that I've established with people, and I think that it just helped my relationships, like with my friends and everyone I know, just grow and blossom into something more.
And I feel like I'm kind of lost, you know. I don't know how many subscribers PewDiePie has got, and things have been getting kind of weird.
I have gained the ability to levitate for only a few seconds, and I can shoot laser beams out of my eyeballs. Please, I urge you, do not take this challenge. Keep your social media.
So, we'll see how it goes next week.
Week 2 of no social media, not really any changes from week 1.
2 weeks without social media. This week has definitely been one of the harder weeks, the hardest week yet.
Recording this in my car at night, because one of the things that I've discovered is that I've got a good amount of free time.
My name is Seamus Campbell. It is now day 15 without social media.
Same thing pretty much. I'm just not using any social media apps, and
I've been getting a lot of texts from friends along the lines of, you know, like, go check out my latest Instagram post or go vote in my latest poll, things along that line. So it's definitely been a little difficult staying off. There are outside forces trying to keep me in, but it's been difficult.
I'm getting my homework done pretty early. I'm doing all my activities as normal, but I feel like my free time's increasing, so I've decided to use my free time to start going out to different coffee shops in the city.
I have no idea what's happening outside of school or my house. I haven't had a social interaction outside of those 2 places since the challenge began.
there's really nothing different about it after this next week. The first week was really an adjustment period there, and now it's just kind of the same.
But one thing interesting I have noticed is that my phone usage is actually down 30%, and not even that I was using social media as much before. I'm not that big of a social media user in the first place, even though I do use it a lot, but I have found myself using my phone less in the past week.
I don't use social media much anyways, so like going off of it wasn't as big of a deal for me, but at the same time, I'm reaping the benefits, and we'll see how week 3 goes.
Dark magic has turned my hair platinum white. I was flying the other day and broke my wrist. The laser beams are... The laser beams are getting out of hand. Send help. Call Aaron.
Yeah, so this is supposed to be my last week of social media. Unfortunately, at the end, took a turn of events, you could say for the worse.
Week 3. This has probably been the easiest week so far.
I don't know. I've kind of hit the plateau at this point. I think that as far as things go, I'm not noticing it anymore, I guess.
It's been day 69 of no social media. I haven't heard from Aaron in weeks.
I relapsed, and I went back on social media 2 days from the end. I couldn't do it anymore. You know, there's a lot of guilt, I think. There's a lot of guilt involved with this. But, you know, at the same time, now that I'm back on social media, I have to say I didn't miss it as much as I thought I missed it, right?
I'm in the home stretch, and I'm really starting to see a lot of the benefits of staying off social media.
It's challenging at first, but honestly at this point I don't even notice it. And the biggest problem so far, I guess, was just the feeling of missing out.
No idea. I've currently locked myself in my room. I have no idea what's happening outside of these walls. My dark magic is killing.
It was weird without social media, and honestly, I wouldn't suggest doing it for a long period of time, but definitely short breaks. But yeah, it was weird going for so long without it, and I wouldn't recommend doing a very long extended period of time.
For one, I see myself having a lot more time to myself, which has definitely been nice. I've been able to get a lot more homework done and stay a lot more focused during class. So yeah, it's been pretty cool.
But I don't know, my FOMO has died down. So overall, week 3, I'm doing well.
I have the ability to control my laser eyes. Duh! That's my laser eyes. I think he forgot about me. I have to call him. Notify the police. Yeah.
After watching the logs, I wasn't really surprised with how Fry and Noah reacted. They both felt they had more time on their hands to be productive and do stuff they enjoyed, and Noah said how he didn't even notice not having social media after 3 weeks. Jack, on the other hand, fell short of the 3-week goal, and he really missed social media. While Seamus took the logs on a very different approach, which at first I wasn't really thrilled with, but then I remembered how Jacqueline Cabral exhibited signs of distress after just 24 hours without social media. Seamus was using these logs to express himself, just as he would on Instagram, Snapchat, or even Twitch, where he streams Fortnite and other video games. Now all that was left to do was to interview them.
What was the hardest part about the experiment?
The hardest part has definitely been just not being aware of social activities going on. Like, you get texts from people all the time, being like, hey, go like my recent Instagram post or something like that. And when that happens, it's kind of difficult just to be like, oh, I'm not really on social media before. And they'll be like, well, I still see your account is up, like, what's going on? And it's been interesting trying to explain to them the experiment, and a lot of them just don't get it.
I mean, I think the hardest part was just occupying my time, right? Like, social media was such a big part of my day-to-day routine, waking up in the morning and checking it before I go to bed, and just finding other little routines to get into was the hardest part.
Did you encounter any challenges?
Honestly, yes, I did. You know, at first it went very well. But by the 3rd week, I started to relapse and get some shakes, some tremors that I just couldn't really control.
Awesome. Did you feel alienated from the world?
Not really. I felt more in touch with the world, actually. I've alienated from the school, maybe, but like in terms of the meditation that I did and the, just the zen that I felt over the month, I really think I connected with the world.
Yeah, I went back on social media. And
Yeah. What did that feel like?
Going back on social media before the deadline, I was honestly just very disappointed with myself, and there was a lot of guilt. But I think that now that it's been about a week or two since I relapsed and I've been using it again, I've kind of eased back into it and back to normal.
But would you recommend this challenge to anyone else?
Of course, absolutely.
Why?
Because it was just, I don't know, it was exciting to free myself from something that had become part of my routine. And it's like, you don't know what you got until it's gone. It's like, you don't understand how big of a part of your life it is and a staple until you remove it.
I would do it again. I would definitely do it again. I think just going forward even, I'll definitely curb my social media use. I've seen, I definitely understand a lot about the negative impacts of social media on my life, and going forward I'll definitely use less.
I would recommend going no social media for like, maybe doing a shorter amount of time, maybe giving yourself some breaks, so one day on, one day off, and just alternating, or like a week on, a week off.
Overall, I thought the experiment was eye-opening. Not only did it prove that people really are hooked on social media, it's not that hard to become unaddicted, as we saw with Fry, Noah, and even Jack to a certain extent. I've noticed that people really do spend a lot of time on social media, and because of that, they're putting their mental states at risk to depression or other negative effects. I'm going to continue looking into social media and how it impacts human lives, but one thing's for sure, I'm definitely going to limit my time on the networks. Now, all I gotta do is end this video. Just gotta find the button to